You are not suffering because of what happens to you. You are suffering because of your opinion about what happens to you. This is the brutal, liberating truth that the ancient masters discovered over 2,000 years ago. If you feel overwhelmed, distracted, and constantly at the mercy of external events, you are not alone. But there is a way out. Welcome to the Stoic Path. Today, we are going to take a deep dive into the ancient system of mental resilience, self-mastery, and inner peace that has guided emperors, slaves, and soldiers through the darkest storms of history. This is not a philosophy of passive endurance. It is an active, aggressive pursuit of virtue, honor, and absolute control over your own mind. Let us begin. To understand the Stoic path, we must first look at the world around us. We live in an era of constant noise. Every screen, every notification, every voice in the modern world is trying to sell you something, outrage you, or dictate how you should feel. You are told that your happiness depends on your status, your wealth, and the opinions of strangers. But the Stoic looks at this chaos and asks a single, devastating question. How much of this is actually within your control? This brings us to the very foundation of the Stoic path, a principle known as the dichotomy of control. Epictetus, a man who was born into slavery and rose to become one of the most influential philosophers of the ancient world, wrote that some things are in our control, and others not. Things in our control are opinion, pursuit, desire, aversion, and, in a word, whatever are our own actions. Things not in our control are body, property, reputation, command, and, in one word, whatever are not our own actions. Think about the profound freedom in this simple realization. Most of your anxiety, anger, and despair comes from trying to control things that belong to the external world. You cannot control the weather, you cannot control the economy, you cannot control the traffic, and you certainly cannot control how other people treat you or what they think of you. When you tie your peace of mind to these external factors, you are handing the keys to your mental prison to the rest of the world. The Stoic path demands that you reclaim those keys. When you face a setback, a difficult person, or an unexpected tragedy, you must immediately categorize it. Ask yourself, is this within my control? If the answer is no, then your response must be simple and uncompromising. Then it is nothing to me. This does not mean you become cold, unfeeling, or indifferent to the world. It means you focus 100% of your energy, focus, and passion on the only thing you actually own: your character, your choices, and your reactions. This is the first step toward building an unbreakable mind. But how do we protect this mind from the daily assaults of life? Marcus Aurelius, the emperor of Rome and the most powerful man in the world during his time, faced plagues, betrayals, wars, and the constant pressure of ruling an empire. Yet every night in his private tent, he wrote to himself in his journal, reminding himself of how to stay grounded. He spoke of the inner citadel. The inner citadel is the fortress of the mind. It is a place of absolute stillness that you can retreat to at any moment. Marcus Aurelius wrote that people look for retreats for themselves, in the country, by the coast, or in the hills. But there is nowhere that a person can find a more peaceful and trouble-free retreat than in his own mind. To build this citadel, you must master your perception. When something happens to you, there is a tiny gap between the event and your reaction. In that gap lies your ultimate freedom. The untrained mind reacts instantly with emotion, fear, anger, or panic. The Stoic mind pauses, steps into the inner citadel, and observes the event objectively. If someone insults you, they have only made sounds with their vocal cords. The insult only hurts if you choose to believe it has harmed you. If you lose your job, you have simply lost a source of income. You have not lost your capacity for courage, temperance, or wisdom. By stripping away your judgments and emotional projections, you see things exactly as they are, naked and powerless. You realize that nothing outside of your mind can ever harm your character unless you allow it. This is how you become truly invincible. But the Stoic path goes even deeper. It is not enough to merely tolerate the challenges of life. The true Stoic actively embraces them. This is the concept of amor fati, the love of fate. This is not a passive acceptance of whatever happens, but a passionate, active embrace of every single event, good or bad, as necessary and useful. The great philosopher Seneca wrote that fire is the test of gold, adversity, of strong men. When you adopt the mindset of amor fati, you no longer wish for an easy life. You do not pray for the storm to pass. Instead, you pray for the strength to endure the storm, and you welcome the wind and rain as the very elements that will forge your character. Think of your life as a fire. A weak flame can be easily snuffed out by a gust of wind, but a great fire consumes everything thrown into it. It takes the very obstacles, the debris, the wood, and the wind, and uses them to grow brighter and hotter. Every obstacle you face is simply fuel for your inner fire. Did someone betray you? They have given you an opportunity to practice forgiveness and self-reliance. Did you experience a massive financial loss? You have been given a chance to prove that your worth is not defined by material possessions. Did you fail at a major goal? You have been handed a masterclass in humility and resilience. On the Stoic path, there are no victims. There are only students of life, and every hardship is a lesson designed to make you stronger, wiser, and more virtuous. To maintain this perspective, however, we must constantly confront the most uncomfortable truth of human existence, our own mortality. This is the practice of memento mori, the reminder that you will die. In the modern world, we treat death as a taboo subject, something to be feared, ignored, and hidden away. But the Stoics kept death at the forefront of their minds. They did not do this out of morbid depression, but out of a profound love for life. When you realize that your time on this earth is incredibly brief, that this very breath could be your last, the trivial worries of daily life instantly evaporate. The petty arguments, the fear of what others think, the procrastination, the greed, the constant search for comfort, all of it is revealed to be utterly meaningless in the face of death. Memento mori is the ultimate clarifier. It forces you to ask yourself, if I were to die tonight, would I be proud of how I spent today? Would I be proud of the anger I held on to, the work I avoided, or the love I withheld? Marcus Aurelius reminded himself daily, you could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think. Let this truth wash over you. Let it strip away your arrogance and your fears. Let it fill you with an urgent, burning desire to live this present moment with absolute virtue, honor, and gratitude. This is how you transition from merely existing to truly living. But understanding these principles intellectually is not enough. The Stoic path is a path of action, a daily discipline that must be practiced in the real world. To prepare for the inevitable storms of life, the Stoics practiced voluntary hardship. Seneca advised his friend Lucilius to set aside a certain number of days each month, during which you shall be content with the scantiest and cheapest fare, with coarse and rough dress, saying to yourself the while, is this the condition that I feared? By voluntarily stepping out of your comfort zone, by taking cold showers, fasting, sleeping on the floor, or wearing simple clothes, you inoculate yourself against the fear of loss. You realize that your happiness does not depend on luxury or comfort. You prove to yourself that you can survive, and even thrive, with very little. This builds a profound sense of self-reliance and mental toughness. When you are no longer afraid of losing your comforts, you become truly free. No one can bribe you with luxury, and no one can terrify you with poverty. You become master of yourself. As we conclude this deep dive, remember that the Stoic path is not a destination. It is a lifelong journey of daily practice. It is waking up every morning and preparing your mind for the obstacles ahead. It is reflecting every evening on your actions, learning from your mistakes without self-judgment, and resolving to do better tomorrow. It is a path of quiet strength, of doing the right thing simply because it is the right thing to do, without needing praise or recognition. If you are ready to walk this path, if you are ready to build an unbreakable mind and live a life of true purpose, virtue, and honor, then take the first step today. Focus only on what you can control. Embrace your fate. Remember your mortality. Practice discipline. If this message resonated with your soul, show your commitment. Subscribe to the channel, leave a comment below sharing which Stoic principle you need to apply to your life today, and share this video with someone who needs to find their inner strength. Join the